Rocket Lab's Electron rocket has become a workhorse for small satellite deployments, with over 60 launches since its debut in 2017. In 2024 alone, the company completed 16 missions compared to 10 missions in 2023, demonstrating its ability to scale operations and meet rising demand. Rocket Lab is proving that small launch vehicles can compete in a market that is increasingly dominated by mega constellations. Rocket Lab's most recent missions highlight its versatility. Here's a look at the last three, which it has accomplished in just the last 2 weeks. The Lightning God Reigns mission, Rocket Lab's 61st Electron launch, successfully deployed the QPS-SAR-9 satellite for Japan's Institute for Kyushu Pioneers of Space, IQPS. It lifted off from Launch Complex 1 in Mahia Peninsula in New Zealand on March 15, 2025. The satellite joined IQPS's growing constellation of synthetic aperture radar spacecraft designed to provide high-resolution Earth imaging through clouds and darkness. This mission is the second for IQPS, with Rocket Lab and the first of 8 planned launches through 2026 to build a 36-satellite network capable of near real-time monitoring every 10 minutes. Just 2 days later, on March 17, 2025, Rocket Lab completed the High 5 mission, deploying the final 5 satellites of a 25-satellite Internet of Things constellation for French operator Cadence. Launched within a year of its first mission in June of 2024, this rapid deployment is proof of Rocket Lab's ability to execute tight schedules. The Cadence constellation connects objects globally, delivering near real-time data for tracking, monitoring, and alerting, critical for industries like shipping logistics and disaster management. And then today, on March 26, 2025, Rocket Lab launched the Finding Hot Wildfires Near You mission for Aurora Tech, a German wildfire detection company. It lifted off during a window opening at 0300 UTC, and this mission deployed 8 satellites equipped with thermal infrared cameras to a 550-kilometer orbit. These satellites enhance Aurora Tech's constellation, aimed at providing 24/7 wildfire monitoring to improve response times and protect communities. Scheduled just 4 months after signing their contract, it's another example of Rocket Lab's responsiveness to time-sensitive needs. While their Electron rocket excels in small satellite launches, Rocket Lab is developing Neutron, a reusable medium-lift rocket designed for constellation deployment and interplanetary missions. Their recent progress includes the engine test phase in 2024 with the Archimedes engine powering the rocket's reusable first stage. They've been doing cryogenic tests with their fuel tanks for the first and second stages, and they recently have been doing tests of their Hungry Hippo payload fairing, which will remain attached to the first stage of Neutron. Rocket Lab aims for Neutron's maiden flight sometime this year in 2025, with their production and launch facilities planned at the Mid-Atlantic Regional Spaceport in Virginia, or Wallops Island, Virginia, where construction is underway on the launch pad. Even if delays push back the first test of their new rocket, I'm confident that they will test it and launch it eventually, even if it's not this year. Either way, this ambitious project positions Rocket Lab to compete with SpaceX in the medium lift market. In fact, Rocket Lab recently announced a new satellite platform, Flatellite, which could be used to compete with SpaceX's Starlink. At this time, though, Rocket Lab hasn't announced any intentions to start a Starlink program and become an internet service provider. Rather, it seems that they want to build the satellites for someone else who does want to compete with Starlink, or better yet, use these satellites for other purposes and launch, say, an entire constellation of Earth observation satellites in just one launch. A little lesser known but significant aspect of Rocket Lab's success is its thriving spacecraft component business. Did you know that they're making more money right now selling satellite parts than they are of launching satellites? In their recent financial reports, the company revealed that revenue from their satellite components and subsystems had surpassed the rocket launches, with their 2024 revenue hitting $125 million for launches and $311 million just for the satellite parts. This shift reflects Rocket Lab's strategic expansion into manufacturing and having flight-proven hardware like star trackers, reaction wheels, solar panels, and separation systems, with components integrated into over 1,700 missions globally so far. Rocket Lab has tapped into a really lucrative market, supporting both its own spacecraft and third-party satellites. Speaking of satellite parts, Rocket Lab truly is an end-to-end space company. They do a little bit of everything, and already they have several different customizable classes of spacecraft that you can just order from Rocket Lab. These spacecraft cater to a wide range of missions from low Earth orbit to even interplanetary missions. They can survive in deep space, and NASA is confident enough in their abilities that Rocket Lab is set to fly 2 twin spacecraft for the ESCAPADE mission sometime in 2025. ESCAPADE is going to measure plasma and magnetic fields around Mars, which will help scientists learn more about the processes that stripped away Mars's atmosphere. The company is tackling interplanetary missions, not just ESCAPADE, with the mission going to Mars, but also a Venus mission. This one is a private probe using a photon-based explorer bus to search for organic molecules in Venus's clouds. Since Rocket Lab is building every part of this mission, it tells me a lot about how well they're doing as a business. The fact that they can afford to do a private mission like this is pretty crazy. And honestly, these missions really underscore how Rocket Lab's goal is to open up access to the solar system for everyone. Rocket Lab's impressive launch cadence, exemplified by their recent missions over the past 2 weeks, reflect its mastery of small satellite deployment. And the company's ambitions are going ever higher with their Neutron development, their booming satellite part business, and their interplanetary missions. Rocket Lab is not just keeping pace with the space industry, it's redefining it. And with a backlog of over $1 billion worth of launches and products they need to deliver, and a clear roadmap ahead, Rocket Lab is poised to remain a leader in the new space era for a long time. Sure, they might not be able to compete with SpaceX yet in terms of how many launches they're able to do in a year, but as of right now, after SpaceX, they are the #2 launch company in the world.